zones around the place and stuff, you know. There we go. Again, the battle log. So, yeah, some of what they did I really like, and some of what they did I feel wasn't really necessary. Oh, we got Doom Hack Cold up here, sorry. Oh, let me move. You are Demon Stone Skin, Fire Enchanted Mana Burn, immune to physical, immune to poison. That's why I don't have mana. That's okay. Yeah, I do. But this guy's not paying attention to me, so I can just like, oh shit, hold on, he fucking noticed. No, that moment when Senpai notices you, but it's like, it takes like half your health. Anyway, let me go back and buy Eliza. And yeah.
Stay a while and listen.
I died before I tried it and didn't really like it. Yeah, no, I didn't like it either. Okay, so I was playing Diablo 4 and I got up to the part where it was like, hey, you know what you should do? Is you need to like upgrade your like world difficulty or something like that and start min-maxing your character. And I went, no. If it's gonna force me to play in a way that I don't like, I'm just gonna go play Diablo 2. I bitched about it so much. I'm like, if I'm comparing it to Diablo 2 so much, I might as well just go play Diablo 2. So I did. Also, thank you for the follow, Ray Ray. Yeah, no, I have very strong opinions about a lot that isn't Diablo 2 in comparison to it. Like, I was excited for Diablo 3. I waited for the 7 years it was coming out, and I was super excited. I had it pre-ordered and everything. And then I played it and I was like, I hated like auto pickup of like the health globes and crap, and I hated the fact that you couldn't just have health globes. They were just like random things on the ground and stuff. And like I had a lot that I didn't like about it, like the terror difficulties that were never ending and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't want that. But I also did play a fair bit of the rifts, because I had people that wanted to play the rifts and I had a strong character. So yeah, I only played with one character. I initially only made Kelly, and then I made my second character, my sorceress, after a while, but I mostly only played with Kelly. So I always had a really high level character compared to like my friends and family and stuff. But when Diablo 4 came out, I didn't even look at it initially. I was initially excited to hear that there was a Diablo 4 coming out, but I didn't want it. And then when I got it, I somehow managed to stay away from all the spoilers, okay? I didn't have it for like 6 months to a year or something like that, right? And then I got it. And I stayed away from the spoilers and I started playing it, and the only thing I could say was it was very much like WoW. And when I'm playing Diablo, I don't want my Diablo to be like WoW. I want my Diablo to be Diablo. But I did appreciate the fact that it did feel like a natural progression of Diablo 2's story. It felt like what Diablo 3 should have been. I felt like it connected a little bit and did hold some aspects of nostalgia. I appreciated that. I didn't appreciate the fact that as a single player, I couldn't just play on my own map. I did find that there were people running around, and it was annoying because sometimes I go into an area and they'd run around and they'd clear everything, and I'm trying to level and I'm trying to experience the game and I'm trying to go through those areas and stuff. That pissed me off. I also hated the fact that when you go down a dungeon, like let's say I accidentally click on a cellar just briefly and you go down it and you come back and bam, everything's respawned. Did not like that. That was annoying because one of the things I like about Diablo is when I clear an area, like this whole area over here, there's nothing alive. If I die where I'm standing, I can run through that area with nothing on and I will make it back to my corpse. And I might die because there's enemies here, but I won't die trying to get back to my stuff, you know. I don't think that there was like a drop body system in that one though, but still, you know, for the purpose of like, okay, I cleared a cellar, now I want to hop back out and I want to go get a drink before I continue. Well, you have to go and get your drink before you hop back out, because otherwise everything's respawned. Stuff like that. didn't like things like that. I did not like the fact that it tried to like make me have to do something to fight an Uber Lilith or something to be able to progress the game and stuff. I'm like, I did not enjoy that. It was basically where I stopped playing. It was the first Diablo where I don't actually know if I actually finished it or if I just gave up on the first like round because I was that dissatisfied with it. But either way, I did not like it. So I came and played Diablo 2 Resurrected because I had Diablo 2 Resurrected, but I hadn't started playing it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to make my first character important to me, something that I would care about for existence, and want to play well, keep, and stuff. But I hadn't figured out what it was yet. And then once I remembered my original character was like, I'm like, I want to remake her. I want to see how hard it is to try and remake her. Like, obviously I'm not going to have the same gear. I'm not going to have the same armor. I'm not going to have the same charms, clearly. I can't possibly do that because it's all random shit. But the same stats and same parameters and stuff like that has made it a very similar experience playing through it. It's actually been very hard, and I'm like, no wonder why I found this game challenging when I was a kid. The other thing too is because I treated Diablo 2 as its own game, separate to Diablo 1. Like, I've had a few people ask me about this for the tree aspect, right? Because obviously in like Diablo 1 and stuff like that, if you have like stats and stuff, you kind of, you'd put like stats in and it unlocks the next one, but then you level up like the thing at the bottom, right? This is the biggest question I've probably got about this sort of thing, is why on earth with this would I have done that for my first character? And the fact is that when I was 12, I treated this game as its own unique game, because a lot of games back then were each their own. You couldn't expect that they had the same mechanics, even if they look similar and stuff. So I figured that if I made these stronger, that would be stronger. But that's clearly not how it works. So yeah, I waste like, you know, fucking 14 points that I could be putting into my other one, you know. But it's fine. I like how horrible it is to fight. It's pretty satisfying. I also like being able to pick up my own coin and stuff too, because you know how you can have a bit of a choice of settings. You can choose to have like legacy classic settings, or you can choose to have some of the newer ones. I chose to have to pick up my own gold because that's something I enjoy doing, but you can have it as auto pickup if you want that, you know. I just like having to go over and pick up myself, you know, things like that. Expansion for D4 was terrible. They added areas to D2, but they were tiny. Oh yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I'm just grinding away at the moment, but I am enjoying this story about your Diablo, Jenny. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, my Diablo story, it's a hell of a fucking story. It really is. But, it's not deterred me, honestly. Oh, hold on. I forgot those guys attacked you a little bit. Like, none of this has ever stopped me from wanting to play. Like, you know, when I was a kid, my character got hacked and shit. Didn't stop me from going into Battle.net and still trying to help other people play and going through the quests and stuff. It did make me wary of certain games and stuff, like when I'm going into them and stuff, but I'm also just happy that they gave me a helper that I can pronounce the name of, because like Eliza's not that bad. There are some out there where I would sit there and be like, oh god, I can't pronounce it. My original character, after I completed my story, I did eventually change my helper. I did eventually change her gear. I didn't change her stats from what the guy had like respec or anything, but I did try to correct them a bit when I got the next couple of levels. I tried to balance it out a bit. So she's not far off, but she's still a little fucked up. Where did you go, mate? There you are. I should have actually put a decoy behind it. But, I don't know, the whole time I've been playing this Resurrected, I've been enjoying the experience. I initially enjoyed getting to see all the graphics. A lot of these characters, I'm like, who the fuck are you? And I have to go back to the old style graphics and be like, what am I looking at, to be able to figure out what it is. I had that in a couple of areas where I'm like, I don't know what's attacking me. And I had to go look at the old graphics to figure it out. And then I had, the cinematics. Oh, the cinematics, so great. They're so gorgeous. The funny thing is, so the cinematics, I remember the original Diablo 2 cinematics looking how they do in Resurrected, right? But they're not. They're super pixelated and fuzzy and stuff like that. But I remember them being as awesome as Resurrected makes them look. And so getting to see them without like the brain buffering and stuff is really wonderful. I also don't have enough mana for this fight, by the way. So this will be interesting. I might actually, hold on. Yeah, I do. But then when I got past normal and I got to nightmare, I started paying attention to the actual story, because my understanding of Diablo 2's story has been basically set in stone from the age of like a 12 to 13 year old, right? And so my understanding of what I've read and what I heard, I never really questioned and I never really thought too deeply about and stuff. So there was a lot that I got to enjoy experiencing from that, you know. Also, we're about to get an ad in a second. But yeah, I got up to hell, and I'm now like seeing not just like the details of the character, not just the graphics in the scenario, scene things, whatever they are. I can't fucking remember. My brain's just crapped out on me. But the lore and how it's all pieced together in the story and stuff. Like, for instance, when you see Baal for the first time riding his chariot to, you know, the barbarian city and stuff, right? I didn't know that, like, the flesh around his neck is all, like, fucked up. I remember it being like paint, but the graphics show that it's, like, peeled away skin around his neck, and I'm like, damn, you know? I also didn't realize that, like, okay, I've fought Baal a lot of times, and I didn't realize that when he's on that chariot, he has like his little spidery leg thingies in the background and stuff. Like, there's just so much that just didn't click, that child brain didn't like understand. There's also obviously like certain aspects, like for instance, when I was a kid, I didn't understand what a harem was. So when you're in Luke Lane and it talks about how, like, you know, the whatever his fucking name is, takes all of the fucking ladies into the underground area and stuff, and I'm like, oh damn, you know, I can see why that was like frowned upon and crap. And when I was a kid, I'm like, oh, he's such a nice guy, taking all these ladies into his care, and look at all these beds and shit around here, right? And I'm like going through like the I can't fucking remember it, the you know, the area underneath the temple-y thingy, the palace? Yeah, underneath the palace, like, whatever the fuck that's called, I can't remember off the top of my head at the moment. I'm like, oh, there's so many, like, random pillows and all sorts of stuff just laying around all over the ground and crap and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, no, kid me, didn't understand, you know, but it's been funny. It's been great because of stuff like that. Like, I did at least like Luke Gawain in Diablo 3, I will say that. I liked the fact that you were up on the ridge looking over the city, and then you could go into the city, and I didn't hate the fight against, I think it's Juriel there. I don't know if it's Juriel in Act 3 or whatever. Sorry, in Diablo 3. But anyway, I think it starts with B or something instead. How am I for arrows? I need arrows. But anyway, I didn't mind those aspects of it, but a lot of the rest of the game was like, no. Whereas like Diablo 2's just got that extra layer of special to me. It's got the nostalgia, it's got the sounds, it's got like, in here, like, look at this. This is all like marbly and stuff like this, but this is empty as shit. Like, this kind of makes sense to me that it's just, there's no worldly possessions. There's my chest, right? There's my chest, there's the fireplace, stuff like that. But then they make it kind of look like there's like soot, and there's like, why would there be a scholar's thingy over here? Why is there weapons here and stuff like that? Like, who's this shield belong to? Like, I got questions, you know. decoration, but I don't know why they're here. Like, there's all kinds of weapons and stuff all the way along here. It actually showcases all the different kinds of shields and weapons and stuff that you can get, by the way, which is very cool. But like, little things like this were confusing to me initially. I gotta go have a good stream. No worries, Hellbent Centaur. I'll catch you around. I'm just gonna rearrange how I'm sitting for a second while the ad's still going. Alright. That may or may not be comfortable. We'll find out. Anyway. Yeah, I've also found that Diablo as a franchise has leaned very heavily towards everything looking wet. That is the only thing I've got. Like, you know when you go into Maggot Layer, and the Maggot Layer has all like the, you know, the beetles, right? You've got the beetles and you've got the little pincery beetle thingies as well, like the scarabs and the other ones, right? It looks really wet and muddy in there versus being dry and muddy and like a compacted kind of like bug cavern kind of thing in the Maggot Layer. Like, there's little changes like that between like Resurrected and like this area looks like dry and bones and crap, you know, whereas here it looks like dusty. Also, I think there might be more than one special doing here, but there's Vile Mold, sorry, Undead, Fire Enchanted, Teleportation, Stone Skin, and he's immune to fire, because of course he is. That's fine. Yeah, they're just like little nitpicks I've got with Resurrected, but for the most part I think they did really, really great. The fact that I can import my characters from Diablo 2 into this made me very happy, because I've still got the original game, right? The original game you needed CDs to run and crap, and it still opens and loads in. The problem is that it crashes when it loads in. So I have my characters, but I can't play them anymore, which does make me a little bit sad, but I can bring them into this game, and like I have done a brief test run, moved them around, and then I reset the files. The only problem is because I have remade my characters, I had to put a Z next to all of my, like in front of all the original characters, because otherwise it'd wipe the file of my existing one and stuff, because I'm going to make them with the same names. So I have really two original characters that I kind of run with. First is always my Amazon. She's always got a bow, she's always using fire, OCD stats, stuff like that. Can't use a crossbow, can use any other offhand weapon so long as it's not a crossbow. It can be another bow though, which is funny. I have had that at least before. My sorceress I believe I did originally as fire, but towards the end of her run it was mixed fire and ice. I never really dabbled with electricity. If there is electricity, there's usually those three elements in this game. But yeah, she had wands, she had staffs, she had all sorts of gear. I really went like very heavily mixed with whatever she had, was just whatever was the best item she used, because I knew by the time I finished playing this one about like stats and crap. But yeah, I'm looking forward to like that aspect of it. But they're those two, and then I had like a couple of miscellaneous Diablo 2 characters, which were just like, I made a character because I wanted to go through the quests, because that's the only way you can get the quests to like start again, is by starting a new character and stuff. So I'm pretty sure I did make like a demon hunter, I think, or whatever it is in this one. Hello, champion Scorpion. Oh, we have a fucking rainbow of them. Hold up, let me move back. They're not too bad, they're normally pretty flammable. But yeah, anyway, I had like, I think, a demon hunter in there. I didn't play her much, I didn't like playing her much. I think I still went through and like leveled her though. I have basically like, I think 3 other fire archers. I did make one ice, but I think I respect her to fire. Because you know how you can do with that with Akara? Yeah. I accidentally did it and I'm like, fuck it, she's fire now. I have a lot of fire ones. I thought I had a barbarian, but I don't think I do. I think I must have had a barbarian in 3 or something. But yeah, normally if it's got an archer, I will normally go with an archer. In Diablo 3, I think the demon hunter was the archer, but she was kind of like more so...
I can't carry anymore.
She was more so like crossbows geared, and I didn't really enjoy that, but I did end up finding a good crossbow, and you could use the transmog thing to make it look like a bow. And I think I ran around with a crossbow that looked like a bow that had a little raven flying around with me. I don't remember what the raven did, but you know, support animal for the win. So yeah, I really don't know what it did. I think it maybe buffed me or like did special attack or something, but yeah, I just like the fact that it had a little bird flying around with me. I like them. Every time I play Diablo 3 on stream, my internet crashes and goes down for the whole night. I'm not joking, it's happened every single time. I just don't risk playing it on stream anymore. Because I initially started trying to play through Diablo 3. It was a game where I'm like, I don't really care too much of the characters, yay or nay. And every time I tried to play it, the internet would crap out. And I'd lose some progress, or my person would be out in some paddock kind of thing. So I could never get like a full map and shit. And then I started playing the Diablo 4 eventually. Like I said, I did not enjoy it. I really had a lot of non-joiners feels the entire way through. And I just kept comparing it to Diablo 2. So eventually I just came to play Diablo 2. And I've enjoyed this the whole fucking way. Like, probably the biggest thing is like, when I was a lower level, before we got to hell, we had a lot of people come in and kind of rip on the fact that obviously like my character was bad and the assumption was noob and stuff like that. And I'm like, fair, whatever. But now we're in hell and I've progressed like 80 odd levels. Yeah, and now that I've also imported my original characters, it's like I have shit to back up my stuff, you know, which is nice. You know, I still can't believe we're in hell, but I mean, Nightmare was the only part where I started to question if it was going to be possible, but I sort of knew it was going to be doable, because I'd done it before. It just takes a long time. I also forgot to check when I went back to town where the portal is for this, because I don't think it's in here. Ishmael should be in here. Israel, sorry. I keep calling it Ishmael.
I am overburdened.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to probably go back because my inventory is pretty chockers. I might be able to fit some of it. Somebody's finding something. It would be nice if that belt was good. I heard something like screaming and I'm like, I don't know what that is. And I like just like side-eyed it. Like, what the hell am I looking at? We'll come back to this. First things first, while I remember, where is the portals? City of the Damned. Okay, damn. Okay, City of the Damned is not. I think we're in the Despair area at the moment. Hey, I got time. I should be able to clear this and then get to a third area. Right. What? City of the Damned. It feels like it's really far away. I also feel like, okay, Nightmare, we went through this act for really, really fast. I think we did most of it in one night, but I'm not expecting to get that far in hell in one night, because I normally stream for 4 hours, okay? And we're like about 2 hours in. We've got time, but I'm concerned that I might not make it as far as I need to be. I think I've also got something in my cube. Yeah. I'm definitely not catching up on the money quickly. So basically the other thing too is once my inventory is full of money and I can't pick it up anymore, that's when I go gamble with the traders. But I try to wait until we've got it all fully full. So I can't, unless I find a good bow or gloves or something out here, I kind of got to wait until I can afford to sit there and gamble with the trader. So it's going to be a while before I get like a better gear. I kind of need better gloves, but my gloves aren't terrible. They just don't have very good defense. They have okay stats for what they've got compared to the things that I was seeing. Like they've got like 86 defense, I feel is very low. A 10% chance to cast level 3 Holy Bolt on striking, which has been pretty good. They do 20% increased attack speed, 350% damage to demons, which out here is doing good. A lot of things out here are demons. 25 to defense, and fire resistance is 50%. So it is helping here really well, my gloves. But my bow is just like, it's 11 to 116. And like it's 60 to maximum damage based on character level. It's got 13% enhanced damage, 129 attack rating, 1 to 5 fire damage, 1 to 4 cold damage. It's kind of piddly for being in Pandemonium, fucking Plains of Despair in hell. So yeah, I could definitely do with something better. But to be fair, we got most of the way here with like a partisan that did like 100 damage and this bow. So, oh shit, hello. Hell are you lot. I think we've done really, really well. Considering a lot of things in hell are fire immune and a lot of them heal themselves, you know? Like, they replenish their health. That was the worst part about the Bloodmore in the rogue encampment area. Because as soon as I walked outside and I couldn't do enough damage to any of the fucking rogues, and I was just like watching them heal themselves, and I had to keep running back inside because my person wasn't strong enough for hell. We died a couple of times in the cow level. I have to wait until after I finish hell before I can go to the cow level, the nightmare. I think it was for nightmare. Actually, no, the one I've got at the moment should be for hell. Yeah, I have to wait until after I finish hell before I can do the nightmare cow level. Sorry, fucking hell cow level. My brain, seriously. But yeah, it is really, really hard. Like, you get a lot of loot and crap, which is great, and it's kind of almost like I should theoretically do it before I go fight Baal, because then I'd get the XP, I'd get a lot of gear, I'd get a lot of money and stuff like that. But like, generally speaking, I've always done it after completing the level and stuff. It was kind of like a celebration lap kind of thing that you do after finishing the game kind of thing. But yeah, it's still going to be hard. Like, I'm really hoping that maybe Baal drops me a bow this time, because he dropped me a really, really sick crossbow. It was like, oh, there's fucking what's his face. I might put a decoy at the back there. So he dropped me a bow that did 100 to 200 damage roughly, right? I don't remember the specifics. This is at the end of the nightmare, start of hell. And it would have been great for hell, but I couldn't use it because it's a crossbow. But I haven't seen anything that does that kind of range of damage